Knows Best.
Hi, friends, and welcome back to Brenna Knows Best. I'm your host, Brenna Berg. Hi, how are you guys? Happy Friday. I just called my grandpa right before this. It is 8:45 a.m. It is his birthday today, Gordy, and he picked up. I said, happy birthday. He said, thanks, Brenna. I said, Gramps, how are you? And he said, I'm at the VA. I said, okay, bye. And I know he wouldn't lie to me. He was very much definitely at the VA clinic, but it would not shock me if I ever heard that he wasn't somewhere and he just like didn't want to be on the phone. Not with me personally, but he is one of those grandpas. And it's actually so funny. A weekend or two ago, I met my best friend Natalie's grandparents, and actually I think I met them before, but this was like the first time I got a lot of time with them. And her grandma, they were both amazing, but her grandpa was just like mine, and they don't say anything. Like, are all grandpas mute? They're like mute, but then when they do speak, it's either like bitter or like a joke or I don't know, something just hysterical. Like, Gordy is a man of few words, but when he does talk, he cracks me the fuck up. He's the one that taught me the joke. We were driving down to South Dakota one time for a family reunion, and when a bug would hit the windshield or like the mirror, or not the mirror, the glass, yeah, the windshield, hello, he would say, he'll never have the guts to do that again. And he did it every single time a bug hit the windshield. I'm like, okay, Gramps, got it. Thank you. Anywho, I just love old people in general. And I think it's probably because I am so close to LaDonna and Gordy. Whenever I meet other grandparents or see like, I mean, just because people are old doesn't mean they're grandparents, but you know what I'm saying? Old people out in the real world. I'm just like, my heart just goes out to them. And then you actually will come across like a bitter, angry old person. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why are you so scorned? I hate that. This is actually something that I was explaining to my husband. Oh, one more thing. My husband and my grandpa, speaking of, one of his favorite stories, which he's only met them now like 3 times, right? Because we never go to North Dakota, which obviously, we went to the racetrack 3 summers ago. The first time my husband went up there, it was actually ended up being my dad's last race. I'm sure we talked about this, but we went down to the pits after. The pits is like where the race cars are and like where they have their trailers and stuff. After the race, you can go down to the pits and see everybody. When I was a kid, we would go down there, and it's so funny because it's Bismarck, North Dakota, but like some of the racers who had money would make almost like sports cards. Like, you know how young boys like baseball cards or basketball cards, you can buy the pack at Target and you open them up and they have the players. The racers at the racetrack would do something like this, or they would just print out a photo. And then when we were kids, one of our favorite things to do, me and my brother, was to go around and ask if they had their cards, quote unquote, and they would sign them and whatever. It's so funny because especially after a certain amount of time, well, there were some racers that we were close to, like obviously my dad's friends, but others we weren't. But like, these people are not celebrities. Like, why did we do that? But it was so fun. But anywho, you go down into the pits. Obviously, I'm not doing that at the grown age of 28, but me and my husband went down and my dad had rolled. I don't know if you guys remember. I think I posted on my Instagram. He literally got into an accident and like rolled a few times. And my dad was peeved when we went down there. Actually, I don't think he was there when we got down there. He was over at this other guy's trailer. Like, my dad's not a person who gets into fights at all. My dad is actually like 99.9% of the time the most even keeled, like go with the flow, happy-go-lucky. Like, my dad isn't an angry person. He doesn't yell. He's very much like a calm person. But there are a few times, and I think only at the racetrack, where he's been upset and angry. Well, because this guy like pushed him off of the track and made him roll, which, number one, like, it's not even because it's dangerous. My dad's pissed because his car got so fucked, because then you have to go in, and if there's a race the next week, you have to fix the car, obviously. And it's just like, it's racing and these things happen, but a lot of accidents are unintentional. Like, there's a pile up, things just happen. But like, when something's intentional, and this guy just like fully pushed my dad off the track. And the other problem is there's a lot of history because a lot of these men have been doing it forever. Like my dad knows all of these people. He's been racing against them. It's like every Friday night of the summer. And this was a guy who notoriously is like known for doing just like shady shit, like pushing people off, just like not being. And that's another thing about my dad. My dad is very much like a right and wrong person. Like there is, a right way to be, and he's very big on like being respectful and doing things by the book. He's like a rule follower, I would say, or that's how he raised us, and therefore like he has a big disdain for people who like don't do things that way and like race properly and be respectful. But I think when we got down into the pits, my dad was like over like, talking to this guy because he was like hot. Because number one, his race car was fucked. Number two, my dad like was doing pretty well in the race, and you win money. Not again, it's like the competitiveness of it. I don't know why I'm like going so far into this, but we get down there and there's a ton of guys. Like it's my dad and my grandpa. Obviously my grandpa's old now, and this was 2 or 3 years ago, but then there's Hassauer. There's like all of these other characters that have race cars, and then they'll pit next to one another, and everybody kind of just like helps each other out, and they just like shoot the shit. It's just like a bunch of grown men drinking and smoking cigs and who loves NASCAR and racing, right? And we go down there, and obviously the vibes are just off. Like even for my dad's friends, I think Chad didn't do that well at the race either. Like morale was low, but me and my husband go down, and it's like his first time. And we go up to Gordy. This man doesn't speak. He's obviously mad. I think he's holding a beer. And we're standing there. We're waiting for my dad. I'm saying hello to everybody, kind of introducing my husband, but not really. It's like all of these guys are like in raggedy t-shirts, and like they're putting away their cars. It's like 10 p.m. at night, right? They're like, fixing up and getting it on the trailer. And like people are just like running around and doing things and stopping by and blah, blah, blah. My dad gets back. We say hello. Again, he's like really kind of fired up at the time. And I'm like, okay, babe, we can just leave. And actually, I don't even remember if I told you guys this. My husband was having like an allergic reaction. I think he got bit by a bug, and his lip was like ginormous. So he was like kind of tweaking about like whatever was happening with him. I'm like, okay, let's go home. I had texted my dad's girlfriend, Pam, and asked if she had like Benadryl, and she did. And that's where we were staying at the time. And I go up to my grandpa to like say goodbye. And I'm like, okay, Gramps, like we're going to go, bye. He like straight up just like doesn't answer. He's like kind of looking away. And my husband, he's like, okay, Gordy, bye. And of course my grandpa goes, oh, like he kind of like grunts, and then we leave. And my husband always tells this story just in general, like when he's telling people about my grandpa or like we talk about it, he's like, do you remember when we were at the racetrack and like he didn't even say words? And I'm like, no, totally. Like that's who he is. I don't know if that was even like helpful to understand, but there was something else I was going to say. I met Natalie's grandpa. He is also a man of many words. Oh, or few words. A problem that I have that is like actually non-existent, and I can't do anything about it, and it won't even be here for another 50 years. But one of my complaints with being 5'9", right? Because up until this point, like I love being 5'9". 5'9", if you're unaware, obviously your height. Like it's pretty tall for a girl. There's obviously taller, but like I'm on the taller end, and I love it. I've always loved my height, my size. I think it's great. Well, the problem that I have with it is, for example, LaDonna is like 5 foot, I don't know, 2 and like 100 pounds. So many grandmothers, and of course all grandmothers are sweet, but like a tiny little frail grandma, like I will never be a cute grandma. Unfortunately, and that sounds harsh, and I'm not saying this about you, nobody please like take this the wrong way, but personally for me, like at 5'9", I just occupy so much space. Like people don't, even if I was skinny, tiny, thin, which I don't want to be, like even when I had my eating disorder, I think because I'm 5'9", like I'll never be referred to as like dainty or cute. And like, not that you should shoot for that, not that that's like, again, please take this all with a grain of salt, but like that's just words that would never be used to describe me. I think number one, there's two reasons for this. Number one, I'm 5'9". I just take up a lot of space, right? Like I'm not going to say I'm a big bitch, but like I am. And I think going right along with that, my voice, I'm so goddamn loud. And therefore, like the words like cute and dainty and like whatever would just never be used to describe me, because I think I take up a lot of space in a lot of ways, which is wonderful. Okay, again, I'm not saying anything about anything, but my one gripe about all of this is like, I'll never be like a cutesy little grandma. I'm gonna be like the loud, I would just like, I love dainty little grandmas so much. I think they're like the cutest thing ever. And like, it makes me sick to my stomach that will never be me. Like, it just won't be me. Again, this is a fake problem, obviously, but I'm like, bitch, you're like, and now that I think about it, I don't know a lot of tall grandmas in general. Like, there's not a lot of women. Like, my grandma Friend, I don't know, is like not tiny, but she's not like my height. She's probably like 5'5", I guess. Like, and she's still a cute little grandma, but I just feel like there's no tall. I guess my mom will be the first like real grandma that I'll see once she gets older. She's my height, if not taller. I think my mom might be 5'10". Therefore, but again, like, yeah, my mom, speaking of, I spoke to my mom the other day for a really long time, actually. Oh, this is funny. She's going to see, and of course I like won't know what this is. Well, hopefully, unless me and my husband get a divorce in the future, but obviously my parents have been divorced for like 25 years. And they've always been cordial and nothing's ever been weird. But we're on the phone and she was like, actually, I think I might see your dad tonight, because she does darts with her boyfriend and my dad does pool. Or that might be switched. Yes, my dad does darts, my mom does pool. And they like are at different bars in Bismarck. And I think it always lines up. Oh, you know what it is? I think that darts moves around, but my mom's pool is always at the same bar. So there's like one time where they like coincide and they see each other like every year, which is so funny because obviously ever since me and my brother left the house, like they don't have anything to do with one another. Of course, like at the wedding and like graduations, they see each other. And again, they're like totally normal and fine. Like they have never had beef ever. But I think after they got divorced when I was like 2 years old. But it's just funny, my mom talking about like seeing my dad, and she said last year they like had a drink together, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's also mind-boggling to me because it's like the small town life. Like, if my parents were divorced in Dallas, Texas, I guess they could live in the same neighborhood and like that could happen, but it's like you would never cross paths in a city like this. But it's like Bismarck, fucking North Dakota. I'm like, Jesus. I said, tell dad I said hi. Well, and actually, I typically am really bad about telling my family things in general ever. And of course, LaDonna is the first to know pretty much everything. So me and my husband have been deciding on our Christmas plans and Thanksgiving. And I think we're going to do Thanksgiving in California and then North Dakota Christmas. And therefore, I obviously texted LaDonna first and was like, it's looking like we'll be coming home for Christmas. And then I think I told my mom. And then I just texted my dad. And I've known this now for like a week or two. I think we kind of decided. I texted my dad on like Sunday and just said like, hey dad, love you, miss you, coming home for Christmas, blah, blah, blah. But I'm glad that I did, because if that got brought up, I'm like, oh God, is there like any conversations that my parents could be having where I didn't tell one or the other? Like if my mom was like, oh yeah, Brenna's coming for Christmas, and my dad's like, what the fuck? She didn't tell me. Like, I'm not trying to start beef. I'm just like really bad at communicating. But anywho, how did we get here? Let's rewind. Last week, Friday. My husband gets home from work at like 10:15 p.m. Oh my gosh. I thought like he was ready to end his life. I'm not even kidding. Like last week, I'm like, are you good? He's like totally not regretting, but like, should I have taken this job? Like, this is insane. Like, they told me they were busy, but not like this. And actually, it all worked out. So, Saturday, a week or two ago, I said, we need to go to an SMU football game. We went to one last year. And if you're new here, SMU is where he went to law school, which I feel like when you do a master's at a school, you're an alumni of that. Like he's an alumni of SMU law, but like the culture is different with like the football team. It's not like he went there for undergrad, but of course we just like love to support. And it's like the closest college to us. Well, I say we should go to a game again. And last year we went with his best friend and a date at the time. He was just like dating a girl and it was super fun. And my best friends were out of town, Natalie and Ryan. And I'm like, why don't you ask our other couple friend on my husband's side? And he was like, yeah, of course. Like that sounds great. He texted them a week prior and was like, we're thinking about getting tickets. Like we'd love for you guys to come, blah, 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 whatever. And the other reason I wanted to do this is because me and my husband, like he's been working nonstop. I'm like, you can take 4 hours, right? A football game's like, by the time you get there, blah, 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 perf. Okay, 4 hours, you can work around it. But like, we need to do stuff and you need to get out of the house and like do something fun. And he's like, of course. Well, our couple friend, the girl, her dad is very well connected and he went to SMU like in the 70s. Actually, he told me at the game that he went to SMU when they were in the blackout, which most of you will have no idea what I'm talking about. And the only reason that I know this is because we watched a documentary on it. But SMU is wealthy. Like they have so much money. It's an expensive school. It's private. They have tons of funds. Back in the 70s, I think it was the late 70s, they had a football team and the football program was insane because they were getting like really good recruits. And I think, if I'm remembering correctly, it turned out that like, the boosters, like in high school, I think you have boosters, and in college, it's like the people who fundraise to get money for the program or whatever. I don't even really know. But the boosters, they raised so much money because all of the people that go to SMU are like so filthy rich. I think it's always been that way. And I think it turned out that obviously up until only a few years ago, like athletes weren't paid. Duh. Well, in the 70s, like the booster funds, they were then going and using to pay college athletes, well, high schoolers at the time, to recruit them to come to SMU. And like they're saying that's how they got so good because they were getting some of the top recruits, right? Because they were paying them under the table is like, I'm pretty sure what the gist of it was. Because obviously back in that day, like with any college, like Bama, for example, and now they do pay, but like up until they did pay, you want to go to a school, like the number one talent in each state, they're going to want to go to the Bamas and the UTs, like the top programs. The number one football player in the country isn't going to UND, the University of North Dakota, some like never heard of, like not ranked college. And that's like what SMU was at the time. Like SMU wasn't that good for a while. And then all of the sudden they were getting all of the top recruits. And people were like, this doesn't really make sense. Like, why are they wanting to go to SMU, right? Like they're not a ranked football team. Well, obviously it turns out that they were paying money. And I'm sure everybody suspected it because they have so much money. But then, and this is what I'm getting to, the NCAA or whatever it was at the time banned them. So I think these are called like the blackout years. I think they got like, I don't know, 4 years, maybe longer, that they were suspended. They could not have a football team. They didn't, because they got in trouble. They got fined. And that was their consequence for paying young high school students under the goddamn table. I'm not going to compare it to that actress, but it's kind of in the same vein. Like, that actress that was on Full House, her daughter, she like fudged the papers to get her scholarships into UCLA, or just to get her into UCLA. Like rich people, like these things happen, and like, no, it's not good and like normal to like most people, but like these things are available. Like they're going to use their money to get what they want. Like, that's just the thing. But anywho, all of that to say, our friend's dad, who went to SMU during these years where they didn't have a football team. And therefore, he's not like super into SMU football, but like he went there and has a ton of friends. And again, he's like a CEO. So he's just a very well-connected Dallas person. And a lot of, oh my gosh, you guys, the mayor was in our suite. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. We texted them, or my husband did, and was like, do you guys want to go to the game? Well, the girl brought it up to her dad because I think he wanted to do something on that same day. And she was like, no, we're going to this football game with our friends. And he was like, oh my gosh, one of his buddies had been begging him to come for like years. Just this guy has a suite on the 3rd floor in the new section. And he's been asking our friend's dad to come. And he's like, let me reach out. Like, if you don't mind, I'll come and then you guys can come into the suite as well. Therefore, he asked, and we were able to go. So we didn't even have to pay for tickets. We got them from our friend's dad. We get there, we meet up with them. This is the first time we met her parents, or dad and stepmom, and we go up to the suite. In this suite, we're with the mayor of Dallas, Eric Johnson. I'm like, what? And his children. And then the like second, like the secretary of the Navy, like, I don't know, important people. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And of course it's a suite. So there's like food and like coffee and whatever your little heart desires, like so much stuff. And SMU was playing Miami. Miami is ranked. SMU is good. Don't get me wrong, but they're not like a top team. Like they should have lost this game, or like we're predicted to lose. Well, SMU ends up winning, and it was a good game. So like, not only like we're in the suite, like we love our friends, and her parents were amazing. The game is good. In the last quarter, it was like tied up going into it, or we were down. Maybe it was like 14-17. So we needed a touchdown. And oh my gosh, you guys, oh my gosh, so much happened. So SMU ends up winning, right? Oh, also in our suite was a guy from Happy Gilmore. You know, it's so funny. I got up to go get a coffee. So we got in there. We ended up being a little bit late because we went to our friend's new house before and kind of hung out there. We get there, and then I go down. The coffee was like in the bottom section, and then I get back up. But while I was leaving to go get the coffee, I was coming up the stairs, and there were like 3 teenage boys surrounding these older men. And it very much, like, just from the vibe of it, I could tell that this was an important man. Like they were like oogling over this guy, and I like looked, but like I didn't, I have no idea. Like I glanced at this guy. I'm like, I have no fucking clue who that is. But like I could tell that was the gist. Well, I go down and get my coffee, and I come sit down, and one of our friends was like, oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah from Happy Gilmore is over there. And I'm like, what? Like, I know Happy Gilmore is that golfing movie. I've kind of seen parts of it, but one of the actors in it, one of the main actors, not Adam Sandler, because I think, is that Adam Sandler? And that, I think it's Adam Sandler, not him, but like one of the other main characters in there was like in our suite as well. What the fuck? Anywho, game goes crazy. The kids storm the field, right? The children at SMU, children, Brenna, they're like 18 to 22 years old, but pretty much children. It's rowdy as fuck. And we're just watching from the top of our, like the box. We're in the highest floor. So we have like a perfect view of everything in the end zone. Y'all, these children these college kids start jumping on the field goal post. They're pulling it down. It's like bent. And I'm like, oh my God, if this snaps, like that's metal, like that could kill somebody. Like I started, like, I couldn't even watch. I was so scared because they were pulling down like the huge fucking field goal post. Well, thank God, like they're pulling, like all of us were like, oh my God, if that thing snaps, like, and it hits somebody, or the end of it hits, like it literally will kill somebody. Like that thing's huge. Well, thankfully, the way that it broke, it didn't snap. They, however, broke the field goal post. So now it's sideways. It's completely broken off. They're twisting it, and then they take it apart. And like one of the sides of the field goal post, like, you know how you kick the football in between, like those long two things that you're kicking in between, they broke them off. They carry them down the field. We watch them hoist them up to people in the stands. And then we come out to go to the tailgate after, and they brought it out to the fountain. Like, they carried the field goal post out of the stadium because this was a huge win. Like I said, they were not supposed to win. And like, Miami is like one of the top ranked schools. It was insane. But I'm like, oh my gosh, that's wild. They're obviously going to get like heavily fined. Well, number one, for like storming the field. Like, you're not supposed to do that. The police tried to stop them. Oh my gosh, you guys. I literally was watching because, like, of course, everybody was jumping onto the field. I watched this kid jump and he hit the ground and he like stumbled. And I'm like, oh, he fucked up his ankle. He like got up and then other people were charging and they knocked him down and then he could not get back up. Like, I was like zoned in on him because once I saw it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this kid like broke his ankle. He could not stand up. Then his friend comes and meets with him. His friend's like taking video, like, wah! You know, they're all hammered. They just beat Miami. I'm watching all of this. He tries to get his friend up, couldn't get him up. Like, this kid, I'm like, oh my God, because the part, like, there are stairs to get down onto the field, but like a lot of them were jumping to be like, you know, drunk college kids, whatever. Well, finally, like, we stood up there and watched them, like the field goal post, like all of this, it took like 15 minutes. So we were just standing there like watching all of these people on the field like cheer and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I told our girlfriend, I'm like, oh my gosh, do you see this? Like, this kid broke his ankle. Like, I'm 100% sure I watched the whole thing happen. And then the trainer came over. Well, we leave the stadium, you guys, and we're walking out and there's an ambulance. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And my girlfriend, she was like, what if that's the kid? What if the kid is the one who needs it? And we walk and sure as shit, there's a golf cart coming to get to the ambulance. He's sitting on the back of it. I was like, I told you, and we're dying, right? We're laughing. She's like, oh my gosh, like, not at him, obviously, but like, it's just crazy that we saw him out of these like thousands of people or hundreds of people on the field. No, it's easily over 1,000. And we're dying. She's like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that he's here. Like, you know, whatever. Then there's a big kid next to him on the back of the golf cart. Like, he had to have been like 300 pounds, like a big guy, right? You look at his ankle. So the ankle of the kid that I saw, like, he obviously, it wasn't crazy. I didn't see anything. The kid next to him, his foot, oh my gosh, like, I shouldn't even tell you. It was sideways. Mm-hmm. And so we're like laughing, like we see this kid. And then at the same time, we both see him. And this kid's like, I don't know if he was in shock, if he was just so blackout drunk. Like, I don't know how he wasn't in agony. He was literally just sitting there on the back of the golf cart, like staring off. His foot was completely sideways. But I'm like, if you're 300 pounds, why are you jumping 8 feet off of this wall? I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm like, what a fucking, can you imagine being a college student, like the biggest game, and you just fucked up your ankle? Like, oh my God, it was horrible. Anywho, let's move on to happier things. After the game, we went and tailgated because the game was at like 11. And the only reason we really went there is because one of the partners at my husband's old firm and our friend's current firm, because that's, you know, they work together. One of the partners tailgates because he went to SMU. We went over and saw him. And actually, my husband drank on Saturday the most I've ever seen him drink. And it wasn't even anything crazy. And I don't even think he got drunk, but he had like 3 drinks. I'm like, whoa, buddy, because they were free and the suite, obviously. And my husband's been working like crazy. He was like, I kind of just want to like let loose. And our friends drink, as most people do. And anywho, we get home, we hang out, we wake up Sunday, and we go and get coffee. And then I assumed my husband was going to work, obviously, because he didn't on Saturday and he had stuff to do. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go Christmas shopping. I leave. I go, unfortunately, Hobby Lobby wasn't open, but I went to At Home, World Market, Michael's, and Home Goods. And I got a ton of stuff. I gave myself an imaginary budget. I'm like, Brenna, you can spend X amount of money and it's fine and it's good and you deserve it and it's no big deal. And I always tell myself, my husband would spend this money. He would spend this money in a heartbeat. He would not think twice about spending any of this. So I shouldn't either. If he doesn't care, I'm not going to care. And I really need to decorate. I just need to do it. And of course, like, because I have no decorations, it's going to be a lot this year, but then I don't have to do it next year, right? Like, I'll have all of this stuff. At home is the jackpot. Not only is the pricing insane there, like amazing, but they have the cutest stuff. I got a Christmas tree there, a 9-foot Christmas tree, the lights, some like little, soap dispensers, other little tabletop things. I'm gonna go back today. So I finally have the car again. My husband has an event tonight at work, and I think it's actually pickleball, which is fresh. But he asked me if I could drive him because I think he's going to ride with somebody that he works with. Anywho, I have the car. So actually right after this, I'm going to go back to At Home. I'm going to get a ton more garland because like I also needed to like figure out what the fuck I'm doing. Like I had no real idea, and you kind of got to cover a lot of spaces. I need to get more ribbon, which again, like the thing of ribbon was like $5. The garlands were like $5. It's amazing. Anywho, I need to go back there. I want to go to Hobby Lobby as well. I got a ton of good stuff. If you saw the haul, you saw the haul, and I'm really excited about it. I get home, right? And my husband's on the couch, and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, I tried to go up and work, and obviously he had drank the day before. So could it be partly hangover? Yes. I'm sure that was part of it. Also, and like, I wasn't trying to tell him not to drink on Saturday morning, but I'm like, babe, you're sick. Like, is it a good option? No, I understand. Like, let loose. Like, if you want to, like, please, by all means. But I'm like, you are sick. Like, that's certainly not going to help. Like, I understand you've been working a lot and like, you just want to like have a drink and like loosen up and whatever. But anywho, he was like really exhausted and just exhausted. Like last month, he billed 240 hours, which is a fuck ton of hours. And he's like, I couldn't sit there. I couldn't focus. Like, I'm just so dead. And he was like, I think I should go to urgent care. Because at this point, he had been sick now since Monday. He started getting sick on Monday and it was Sunday. And I'm like, totally. Well, he then was doing a little bit of research, and right next to the urgent care that we go to or once went to before that's close by, there is an IV place, like one of those where you get an IV. There's all different kinds, like a hydration, but there's immune, there's like a ton of stuff for whatever health thing you're looking for. And the soonest like urgent care thing he could get was like $320, and it was like 1 at this time. So he's like, do you want to go do the IV first? And I was like, well, I'm not fucking doing it. I'll go with you, but like, I don't want to do that. I'm good. I'm healthy. Like nothing's wrong with me. And we end up going. He gets an IV, and he also gets an NAD shot, which sounded really fucking spooky. Wait, let me actually Google what this is. I don't know. He had heard of it before. NAD injections. NAD injections are a form of treatment that involves administering a concentrated dose of NAD+, a coenzyme found in all living cells. These injections are typically administered intravenously or intramuscularly. Benefits: increased energy levels, improved cognitive function, enhanced metabolic health, reduced inflammation, anti-aging effects, support for detoxification. I don't know, but he got the shot and then the IV. So we sat there for an hour, and then we got done like at 2:30. I'm like, why don't we just go into the urgent care? Well, then of course after, he's like, do I even need the urgent care appointment? And I'm like, well, we may as well. Like, this might help you feel better for the short term, but if you actually have something, like, let's go look. So we pop in, we see a doctor. She's like, there's a lot of upper respiratory viruses going around. And if you don't know, a viral infection, you don't use antibiotics for. There's nothing. They just have to run their course. A bacterial, right? Bacterial or a bacteria infection is what antibiotics treat, right? And this is like a viral infection. And she's like, the one that I've been seeing, it's like 7 to 10 days. She's like, all of the symptoms he was giving. But she's like, there is like, I'll send over some sort of antibiotic situation. Like if this doesn't end in 3 more days, because we were at like day 6, she's like, I'll have this ready. That way you can go and get it. If you're still not feeling well, that should help. But she's like, I think it's just, one of these. So that was that. We go home and we chill. Oh, also what I was going to say is on Saturday, because I didn't see, like, I don't think he got home before 9 p.m. once last week. And so we get in the Uber on our way to our friend's house before the SMU game. Sorry, I'm rewinding to Saturday. I was just like spitfiring every single like word vomit thing I wanted to tell him. I like didn't talk to my husband all week because like he was exhausted when he gets home. He gets up and goes to work. So like in the Uber was the most we had talked all week. We were just like both like going in about this, that, and the other. It was crazy. Anywho, this week, Monday, nothing. Tuesday, I had an event with Macy's, which was amazing. And actually like, of course, with all of these work events, like, you know, the holiday season coming up, now that I'm like really in this world, it's so interesting because obviously there's Black Friday deals. Like I'm getting so many like emails and notifications on the brand side, not like emails in my emails, like sales, but like, hey, we're going to be doing this sale for Black Friday because obviously people are buying things, gifts. Like it's just so interesting. I actually got a gift card for Macy's and I'm going to go today as well since I have the car and go look at like, I need holiday outfits. I need a Friendsgiving outfit for next week. I need a Christmas outfit for my husband's Christmas party, a party outfit. I feel like I have other things coming up that I need, just like the holidays in general. Obviously, I'm trying to be a goddamn fashionista. So like I'm trying to do all of that. That's what happened. I think this weekend coming up, we have actually our friends that we just went and saw at the SMU game and we went to their house before. It's the girl's birthday today. I just texted her this morning and they're doing like a birthday / housewarming because they just moved in a month ago. So we're going to go there on Saturday. And I think that's all we have. Oh, I won't talk to you guys. Wait, I'm not sure like how much of this I should say, but next Wednesday, I have a Friendsgiving with Beauty Bio, which is a brand. They do skincare and actually it's based out of Dallas. The founder lives here and yeah, that's that. Well, this event is strictly for the girls within my management team, girls that also have the same management as me, and they're flying in some managers and they're flying in my girl, my manager, Jillian, who I'm sure I've spoken about before. So I'm going to meet her next week. So she's coming in for this event to go to this Friendsgiving. And I'm so freaking excited because we have calls like every other week, right? And like, I know her, we are on Zoom, we talk, but I'm like so excited. She's coming in, she's staying at a hotel. We're going to go and get dinner ourselves. I think also on Wednesday night, just the two of us, we can like debrief the whole thing, which I love a good debrief session. But that's coming up. I was going to say there's something I'm really excited about. I don't know if that's like weird to talk about, but that's what's happening. And I think that's about all that's going on. I wanted to talk to you guys about gift guides. Okay, I'm currently, which I know I spoke about this on my Instagram story and I know it's annoying. And actually I had a woman who commented and was like, people can't afford to shop this year. And I'm like, okay, I do understand. Again, then don't like, I'm not forcing anybody at gunpoint to go shopping, right? But like for those who are shopping, I'm going to make the gift guides of it all because I always get asked and like we're all doing it. And that's that. I know I never talk about like, I'm not a news outlet. I'm not a political person. I'm not like, I don't want to talk. And quite frankly, it's all negative, all of this shit. And I get it's real. And like, I understand how we could see, like, I don't talk about these things. And like, I don't know, but I'm like, I don't want to talk about sad shit. I see it online. I like think about it. I obviously have conversations with people in real life about these things. Like my social media is not a platform for me to fucking just like give the news and talk about all of the horrible things going on in this world. Sorry, like I'm just not going to do that. And I feel bad. And I never want that to come across as like, I don't care. But like, I think you guys will understand. And I don't know if she listens to this podcast, but it was like, she was like scolding me. And I was like, I'm sorry, like totally. And if you can't afford to buy, like, that's another thing that I want to talk about is like, nobody needs gifts. Like me and my best friend, Natalie, we're not doing gifts for one another. Like we don't have the money to do, like I'm buying for family and then like the traveling of the holidays and everything that comes with it. Like I think also I saw a TikTok yesterday of a woman who was saying that she was a bad friend years ago because she would flake on her friends, not because she's flaky, but because she couldn't afford to do the things. Like when her girlfriends would be like, let's go to dinner, she would end up flaking because she just couldn't afford the dinner, but she was too embarrassed to say that. And I like 100% understand that. Like I get that to a T. But I also think that like if you have friends, like me and my best friend Natalie talk about money and like we know each other's finances. And I think, of course, I know it's taboo and not everybody's as open as I am and me and my friends, but I think like if you have really good friends and you're embarrassed about like bringing up money, I think everybody can understand that. And if you have a friend who doesn't understand that like money is tight right now and like shit is expensive, then like that's not a good friend. Like if you were to come to your friend and be like, oh, can we not do like gifts, or like I can't go to that thing, just like it's not feasible, I don't like the money right now is tight, and they're not cool about it, like that's just straight up not a good person. Like never would I ever, if my friend came to me even in 20 years from now and was like, God knows, like of course, like that's fine, either I can cover it or like we just won't go. Like there's also so many things that you can do that don't cost money. Like every time I see my friend Natalie, we don't spend money. We just like chill at each other's houses. We come over, we hang out, we enjoy each other's company. Like I don't need also a gift from my friend to like know that they love me, or my family. Like I understand that some people really enjoy gifts and do put a lot of weight into it, but especially this year, I would like challenge everybody to remember, like, and I'm sure you guys understand it as well, like money is just not going like it used to, or going as far. And like that is honestly, quite frankly, the least important thing. Like the holidays to me is like spending time with one another, like spending time with your loved ones, like letting them know you love them. And like that's what it is important. If you do want to, like I was thinking about it then, like budget friendly options, which I feel like you could go to Target and get like a little lip gloss for your friend, or like honestly a $10, I'm all for gift cards. I know that they're not super personal, but like if you know your friend or your brother or your parents like go to a certain place, like getting them a gift card to that place, like who doesn't love that? It's like money that they won't have to spend. So like if somebody gave me a $10 gift card to Starbucks, I'm shook. Like I'm so pumped. I'm so excited to use that and get my little coffee and not have to pay for it. Like that's a great gift. And like $10, if $10 is too much to spend, totally fine. You don't need to spend money. But like if you can and want to do just a tiny something for your friend, or like Target or Ulta, like whatever, like their favorite thing or restaurant, Chick-fil-A, like do a little $10, $15 gift card. I think that's perfect. I've been putting together these lists and I want to go through the under 100. These stupid fucking, and I know they're not stupid and I want one so badly. Like I cannot shut up about these MEJ hair clips because everybody recommends them. They're at Sephora, but here's the thing, you guys. They're $36. Okay, that is my gripe with them. They're $36 for a hair clip, but people say they're the best. I need to go like feel one. I love the red one. I also put on here, I can't remember. I think this is through Casetify. Oh no, it's Bobble Bar, which is that how you pronounce it? Baublebar. They have a ton of personalization, which I think that's always good for Christmas. Like things you can personalize. I actually found this little like pouch baggie, kind of like a little toiletry bag, but a like casual one. I think it's on Abode, but it has little dog options that you can choose. And then it says like Ellie's mom, you can customize. So like if your friend has like a wiener dog, Natalie, she has a wiener dog, Josie, I could get that for her and do Josie's mom. So fresh. I have, a water bottle. I feel like that's like such a good holiday gift, even though it's so stupid. Everybody has the goddamn water bottles. Obviously Stanley popped off a few years ago, but like the Awalas right now are huge because like drinking water, it's good for you. Like I think everybody loves a new water bottle. I put a few like beauty products on here, the Rhode goddamn blush that I want to try, a personalized necklace, like one with their name on it or just like their first initial, Skims PJs, another cute little phone case. Oh, I found these. I think they're on Etsy. And I honestly kind of just want these for myself. They're 2 keychains. One for yours that says, my dog and I talk shit about you. And then it has a little one to attach to your dog's collar. And it says, shit talker. I I love that. I'm like, that is such a, like a funny, good gift if your friend has a dog. A candle. Oh, these little, I think these are trending right now. These like iPhone wristlets, like these cute little, you put them, they must come with a phone case and you clip them on to like hold your phone. I have, the Say Super Gel, because I think that's, unfortunately, makeup is hard in my opinion, because like I don't know what shades my friends like I don't know those sorts of things, but like the Say Super Glow, or I guess the Road Blush, but I feel like that tan, like they have like specific colors that like everybody looks good in. Those are good. Bala bands, a cutesy little, you know who has like great little dinky gifts? Anthropology. They have like a whole section that I was looking at. This is like a cute little cowboy boot that holds matches. Like if you have a trendy friend, I feel like that would be good. Earrings, Sol de Janeiro lotion, always a good gift. Rhode peptide. Oh, I put the Gap sweatsuit because I think I want to get that for Natalie. I think I'm going to get her a matching sweat set from Gap, because that's such a, the top and the bottom with the sale is like $60. I'm like, that's a perfect little, like, who doesn't love sweatpants? Slippers, like little Bombas slippers. I then also have gifts for him under 100, and basically all of these things my husband owns. Anything from Viore, the t-shirts, the shorts, if you guys have a boyfriend, the wallet that I got him, the extra wallet, also slippers. My husband has these slippers that he wears all of the time. Adopt kit for like their toiletries. Vans sneakers are like $70, perfect. Stance, socks. There's so many things. I tried to like look around my house and like, what are the things we own and that I love and he loves? So I'm putting that all together just because 'tis the freaking season, I guess. And what else? Books. Yo, I'm still reading Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. I don't know why it's taking me so long. I love it. I just haven't been reading as much. I think with the new schedule, my husband getting home, us eating, like I'm tired by the time it's time to get into bed, but I'm loving this book. It's like really intriguing. It's like a little bit fucked up, which I love. I'm still reading that. And what else do I have to talk about? I think that's it. Oh, I have a few questions. Let me get into that and then we'll wrap this up. I feel like this was a good amount of time. Okay, I've got the Sephora website on. I think I'm going to go to the mall today. I want to go look at Macy's and like use my little gift card that I got. I want to just kind of like bop around because I have the car, and quite frankly, I have nothing better to do. Wait. But I need to go look at, I always have a problem with like, do I go to the mall first or do I do the home decor? Because I get so freaking tired. So I'm like, Brenna, like, or do I go and then come home and then go a little bit later? Because like once I'm done shopping, I'm done shopping. And depending on if I spend money, then I don't want to spend more money. Ugh, the worst. Okay. Hey, Brenna, I listen to your pod religiously and you always have the best advice. I'm currently going through a breakup and it's feeling like I'm getting too old and running out of time to start all over. It also feels like I'm in a right person, wrong time situation. He's 39 male, lives in one state, and I'm across the border approximately 3 hours away. I'm 34 female. My biological clock is ticking. It's not a bad breakup, but it's just the situation we're in makes it hard to visit often, and it's taken a toll on our relationship. Like work schedules don't line up, family commitments, etc. I do want to be with him again, and if we're able to move closer together, but also we agreed to remain friends and consider dating closer to our geographical regions. I know it's silly and probably just all in my head, but how can I feel like I'm not behind in my own life? Everyone around me seems so happy and further along in building their family. Any and all advice is welcome. Thanks, girl. Oh my gosh. Well, I freaking love you. And I do feel like unqualified to speak on this because I'm 28 and like the whole biological clock of it all like is a 100% valid, like real feeling. And again, like I'm not in that position. So like anything that I could say, like, it's fine. Like, you have plenty of time, which I'm sure you've heard from people. It's like, you don't fucking get it because I can imagine how you're feeling. let me talk about these independently. The breakup, I mean, at the end of the day, unfortunately, even though it was good and great, like living in the same place is huge. And unless you're willing to just like take the risk and move there right now, like I think long distance just doesn't really make sense, especially with you being the age you are and talking about biological clocks. Like, you need to live in the same city. You don't need to, but like it needs to be either like moving in that direction, especially if you do want marriage and kids. And I feel like the fact that you guys live, like that's kind of a compatibility issue. And unfortunately, like right person, wrong time, like if it were the right person, it would be the right time and it would work. And I truly believe that it's just not supposed to be him, because if it was, it would have worked out and like somebody would have moved, or he would have just like, y'all would have lived in the same city to begin with. I think also with these things, like there's more to the story, because unfortunately, and I'm not saying you're not telling me the rest of the story, it's just when long distance relationships are a thing, I feel like you see the relationship in a very idealistic way, and like you're not spending the same amount of time as somebody who lives in the same city, or as much as you would with somebody in the same city. So like, of course, you know, every time you see each other, it's great and you guys have fun and there's no issues because you see each other once every 2 weeks, right? So like, I don't think in a long distance relationship, you get a real good idea of like what really dating that person is like. I'm just speaking in general, like these are my opinions. So I think it's easy to like romanticize and be like, oh my gosh, the relationship was great, because like it was kind of like a half relationship. Like it wasn't, you know, they weren't in your life, right? This guy wasn't a part of your daily life. It wasn't like you're going home and seeing him or a date night. It's like almost a separate thing. I dated a guy who lived in a completely different state, and like it was wonderful because like he wasn't a part of my life. Like I would go to Minnesota, I would have fun, we would go on dates. It was amazing. But then I would come home and he was not a part of my life at all. And it's hard to like see it that way, but I think everything's working out the way it's supposed to. I think like, don't remain friends. I think you have to cut that off. Like with any breakup, it's just, I don't think it's going to do you any good. I think you should focus on your own city, especially if you like it and that's where you want to be. Date in your own city. And like 34, I mean, here's the thing. Women are having children like well into their 40s at this point, like with technology. Now, I would say, and again, I don't want to scare anybody, and I don't want, like, I'm no professional. But I was telling you guys, I watched that 3.5 hour podcast on hormones and IVF and freezing of the eggs. I think just to give you a peace of mind, I'm not sure if there's like an appointment you can make to like talk to an OBGYN or like get just like an understanding of like how many eggs you have. Like if that's an option, just so like, I don't want you to be rushed. I don't want you to like pick some fucking loser because you just feel like you need to, because you need to have kids. Like, I think it would be better to just like book a doctor's appointment right now. Also continue dating, like totally try and find your person. Like that's important to you and you want that 100%. But like the sooner you can get in and just like get an understanding of like where your body's at and how many eggs you have. And like, do you need to freeze them? Do you not? Like you need to talk to a healthcare professional about all of that. I can't tell you, and every person is different, but I think that would give you a peace of mind just knowing, because that's the thing. Like we have no idea. Like I don't even know. What if I'm infertile right now? Like I have genuinely no idea. And I think just to know and give you a peace of mind and understanding of like what your situation is, that way, you know, you'll still definitely feel that pressure, just because like, even if like biological clock and all, like if you're 28 years old out there listening and all of your friends are married and pregnant, like it's still so easy to feel left out and like you're not on the right timeline. But like every timeline's different. And quite frankly, something that I always tell myself is like, if I would have compared myself to like all of the people that got married at 23, 24, like, oh my gosh, half of those people statistically are going to be divorced in 5 years. And then guess what? Like, even though it took you longer to find your person, like hopefully you will have chosen a better partner because you took the time and like know yourself so deeply and truly, and you'll be in a happy and healthy relationship and you'll be like, oh my God, not that like we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to others in general, but it's a natural thing to do. But like now Becky, Jessica, and Samantha are all going through divorces and their lives are fucking insane. And now they have children with a douchebag ex-husband. And like, you're just now getting pregnant and you have your person. Like, timelines are so like, unfortunately, you can't like, hindsight 2020. In 50 years you'll be able to look back, but like right now all you can do is compare yourself to the people around you currently, and it's like, oh well, everybody's doing this, but like you have no idea how that's going to pan out. And like, it doesn't matter. It has like literally no effect on you what everybody else is doing. I understand how it feels that way because of course the children and the different life stages of your friends, but again, this is all coming from me, who's a 28-year-old who like doesn't compare, and like I just could give a shit less about timelines and like what everybody's doing. We were just talking to our friends about this over the weekend, and of course they're in a relationship, so they have the security of like they're just talking to talk, but like they don't want to have kids until they're like 35. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, but you can do that, and like that's a thing. Like hello, you're on the path you're supposed to be on. I like truly believe that. And once you finally find your person, like it's going to all make sense and be like the best thing ever. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, like why the fuck was I stressing? This is so stupid. Like now I have sweet Jack, right? And it's gonna be okay. And I think you need to move on from this guy. And like right after a breakup, it's hard. Like you're just feeling all of the feelings. I think once time goes on, you'll feel better. And like, that's the thing. Hello, I've said this before. My best friend Garrett, like he was single for like 10 years. He's now 32. He's married. He met his now wife like a year ago, and they boom, because they both were like so intentional. They knew what they wanted. They were engaged and married in no time. And I'm not recommending that, but I think once you get older, it's safer to do that. And like, you really have just a better understanding of like the partner you want and who you are. And like, you have no idea, but you could meet your person in 4 months, right? And then boom, things are happening. So like, just trust your own timeline. And like, everybody's timeline is different. And quite frankly, there's not a correct timeline. Like that doesn't say that those people are happier or going to have a better marriage or a better life at all. Like, every single person is going to go through their trials and tribulations, and you're on like truly the path you're supposed to be in or on, and everything happens for a reason. I think get through this breakup. You're doing great. Like definitely if you're worried about the biological clock thing, which is like valid, just set up an appointment. Like if you can get in and see an OBGYN and just like talk about like, explain right to them, like, I'm single, these are like my worries, like what can I be doing other than like finding a man and getting pregnant right now, because obviously that's like just not healthy or safe or a smart option. Like they'll be able to help you with like that side of things and like giving you peace of mind, and then just like keep dating and keep putting yourself out there. Those are my thoughts. Okay, next. Okay, and last but not least, Brenna, you're my favorite ever OG follower that's been here since before the pickleball date. My fiance and I, both 27 years old, have been together a long time, a little over 12 years. Damn! Y'all have to know each other inside and freaking out. And we just bought our first house together. Oh my gosh. After house hunting for almost 2 years. It's a perfect house for us and we're so excited, but we've never lived together as we both still live with our parents, and we didn't want to rent an apartment as we both preferred to save money for the house instead of putting it towards rent. Got it. Any advice for moving in with your partner? Obviously, we've been together for a long time, but we're still so excited for the next step in our relationship. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, you've been together forever. You guys save money. We're being smart about it. It's going to be amazing. You guys are going to crush it. I think obviously have all of the conversations about the money. You guys are engaged, so you're about to get married. So like, quite frankly, I know not everybody like combines their finances, and if you do or if you don't, I still think like you should start talking about y'all's money as y'all's money. Right now, if you want to do the mortgage, like depending, let's say he makes 100,000 and you make 50,000. If you want to do the like 2/3, he pays 2/3 and you do a third, like however you want to do that. But I would start getting clear on like what that's going to look like once you're married. Like, are we just going to combine our finances and do everything together or not? But if not, who's paying for what? Like, that's like one of the major things, the finances of it all, and then the chores of it all, which you can talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. But then you move in together and you're like, my husband hasn't taken out, or my fiance, the trash, and he said he was going to. But like, try and get ahead of the things that people struggle with, I think, which is chores, like who's doing what, right? Like, what are the expectations, and then the money. And then other than that, like, you get to live with your best friend. I always get questions on like tips for moving in with your partner, which unless you guys hate each other, right? Which some people do. Some people hate their partners and like that's why they're nervous about it. But obviously I don't think that's the case here. Hello, you're engaged. It's going to be amazing. It's like living with your best friend. You get to come home at the end of the day, see each other, hang out, and really, like, I don't know how much prep there is that you can do. Have you ever lived with a roommate in college? Like, you just start to learn, like, even though you guys know so much about each other, once you move in, the weird, like, bathroom quirks, like, does he, like, not dry off and leaves water everywhere? Or, like, does he leave everything on the sink? Or, like, which these to me aren't big deals at all. I think I'm just like more go with the flow. But like all of these peculiar, like, do they snack a lot? Like, you just learn so much of their like at home habits, like who they really are. And it's just fun and exciting. Like, I don't think at this point, you know, all of the like glaring, like, not red flags, but like their quirks and things. You've been together for 12 years, but moving in together, I think you'll be surprised on how little you know, and just like what things are like at home. It's just so different. Like, of course, even if you're best friends with somebody and you see them all the time, like, they don't really know what you're like on a Sunday when you're vegging out all day long in your own home. Like, it's just so interesting, but like, that's the love of your life. So it's going to be amazing. Honestly, I would just try and like maybe ask ChatGPT again. Not that I like am a huge ChatGPT person, but I would say, I'm moving in with my partner. We've been together 12 years. Like, what questions, like what things can we talk about to like prepare us for moving in together? Oh my gosh, wait, let me just like look this up because maybe this would be good for everybody to hear. Like, that's honestly, hi chat, I'm moving in with my partner of 12 years for the first time. What conversations should we have before or prior to moving in together? Question mark. That was hard. I typed that with all one hand. Let me see just like what they come up with. That's a big and exciting step. Congratulations. Even after 12 years together, sharing a home can introduce new dynamics. So having some intentional conversations beforehand can really set you up for success. The first thing they have, finances and household contributions. Money can be a major stressor, so it's best to get aligned early. Talk about how will you split rent, mortgage, utilities. Who will be responsible for paying which bills? How will you handle shared expenses like the groceries, streaming services, furniture? Will you keep separate bank accounts, open a joint account? Like, yeah, this is a good time to like get clear on that before you get married. How will you approach saving for shared goals, travel, renovations, etc.? Okay, divisions of chores and responsibilities. Even small differences in habits can build tension. Discuss how will we divide cleaning, cooking, laundry, trash, pet care, etc. What are your cleanliness standards? Will you set a cleaning schedule or divide tasks by preference? Do you want to handle hosting guests or family visits? See, this is so helpful. Living habits and personal space. You probably know each other well, but living together magnifies habits 1000%. How much alone time do you each need? Do either of you have routines that might clash, like early risers versus night owls, work from home schedules, etc.? How will you handle differences in noise, temperature, screen time preferences, blah, blah, blah? What spaces or activities feel personal or private to you? Amazing. Like, yeah, use this as a guideline. They have like way more conflict and communication styles, future, and these are just good conversations to have with a partner in general. But like, just those big things like the tasks, the finances are just like what can become big stressors and like tension in relationships. So I think just to like start those conversations, but continue to have those conversations, because like me and my husband, like things looked so different when he was in law school now to him working full time. Like he did way more chores back then, but now it's different. So like all of these things, and finances, like whether you make more or you want to quit a job, like these are now conversations you have with your partner. Like you guys are going to get married. They are joint decisions in my opinion. So like just get comfortable having like hard conversations about this, that, and the other. Those are my thoughts. You're going to crush it. That's amazing. Congrats to you guys for being together for so long and being engaged. I love that. Keep me posted on the moving in together journey. Congrats on buying a house in this goddamn economy. Are you fucking kidding me? And I love you guys so much. Every one of you who's listening. These episodes are my favorite. You guys are the best. Happy Friday. I hope you have the best weekend. Be safe. Happy almost freaking Christmas. Like it's November 7th today. What? That's insane. Anywho, I'm going to wrap this up here. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you on Monday. Okay. Bye, guys.